Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at a stamp set called Jar of Flowers. It comes with a coordinating punch, so you can punch out the little jar and do all sorts of things with the jars, and we're probably going to do some things with that later on, but not in this particular video. And it also comes with these beautiful flowers. Now, I've only just got this stamp set. It's been available for a while in the current annual catalogue, and it's going to be carrying on, so it's not a retiring one. And when I looked at it in the catalogue, I looked at the size of the flowers and I thought, it's quite small, and it's something I overlooked. However, when you have a look inside, the stamps are, it's called a reversible stamp set. It's one of Stampin' Up's painted ideas, which means for the jar, you can stamp it either way. So you can stamp it to get the detail of the jar, and then you can stamp it the other way to get the jar. And it is, you can put all of the pieces inside on the case, which is rather good. But the size of the flowers are huge. They're bigger than I ever imagined. So if you take this is the one with the lovely poppies in on here. If you look at the size of the image on the front, it is so much bigger. So the size of this one is, let me just measure it. It is just under, so 2 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So 2 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So it's a huge stamp, and each one of them you have different flowers for different seasons, which again is just lovely. And I thought, you know what, I love flowers, I love colouring, particularly, you know, over time when you want to just have a bit of downtime and you want to colour. And so you've got these lovely sort of summery flowers with the roses, and I'm not into flowers very much, so I don't know all the other ones. You've got tulips in on this one. You've got this that's got little berries in and things, and sort of winter roses, so you could do it for winter time, although that looks like a chrysanthemum, so again maybe summer. And you've got your daffodils, which is summer and autumn time. So really beautiful, and they're huge. So I thought that we would do something and make a beautiful flowered card using the Stamparatus and using one of these flowers. We're using the big rose, which, as you can see, I've got it already set up, and you know, it's not a small stamp at all. So I have used, so let me just get this up. I positioned it ready so I wouldn't waste any time, but as I say, you can see on this one it's huge. Now I've got my template. Most of you will know, and most of you will have made your own template. You can buy them, but it's very easy on our grid paper, which comes with this, you can buy with the Stamparatus. So it's a small grid paper and you can make your own. If you look back and look at wreath template, you'll be able to see the one that I've made here. I've laminated it because I've been using it for, I don't know, a good couple of years. So it is a little bit slippery when it's laminated, but it means it lasts longer. I use 2 magnets, so I put 1 magnet to hold my template down, and then I've got a piece of 5 by 5, which I'm just going to line up in there. I've done a 5 by 5 and a 4 by 4 and a 3 by 3. You can do whatever size you want, so you can take it larger or smaller. So this is going to be 5 by 5, so I'm just putting it down like this. And we're going to ink up using Memento, because I am going to be using blends, and Memento is water-based and is very good for blends. So with this one you have to twist because it's a linen pad. So to ink it up very well, if you twist it, it works well. I'm not going to put the lid on this, so we just need to stamp it down on there and give it a good rub and pick it up. And then with this one, we're going to turn it a complete quarter turn so we get onto the other side. Now, you will notice that then when we put it back again, that little edge is going to touch. So what I've done is I've just made a little template, or a little mask rather. I've just stamped it out, and I only need to cut this tiny little corner. So all I need to do then is to just put that in on there, which gives my template. I can then ink it up again. And then put it across. So that little corner is not going to be catching at all. So you can see it fits beautifully. Turn it round again, a complete quarter turn. So we're only using the quarters, we're not using the 1/8 of a turn. Put this little one back in again, is just in on there so I don't forget. Make sure that I've got that straightened up where I want it. Just bring that back down again. There we go. And then we can ink that up again. But as I say, it's huge, huge, huge stamp. So all of these flowers are so much bigger than I ever imagined. And, you know, they work beautifully with the jar to make lovely flowers. But, oh my goodness, they just work so beautifully like this. So again, the last one. And this time we need to make sure that we have got, so put my magnet down again, we need to make sure that we've got the little mask piece on this one. So that comes in on there. Like that, and then the other one just in on here. I can actually put my magnet in over the top of that one. And then we can ink the last one up. So as I say, it's only 4 stamps, which, you know, is quick and easy to do for this one. Your colouring will take a while, but, you know, if you enjoy doing some colouring, if you enjoy practicing with your blends, it's perfect. So take that one up, and then we can take this off, and you have got a beautiful circular flower like that, which I think is just absolutely lovely. And then colour it all in exactly how you want. Now, I've done, so we can put this away. I will show you, I did the poppy, so I'm just going to put that away. I did the poppy, and I will show you the card that I did with the poppy that I've finished, because again, it's for somebody. So you can see the beautiful poppy on here and how it's all done round. Now this I did with the 8ths, so I took the, let me just get a, what have I done with my, oh here, there's me looking for my Simply Chamois, and it's underneath here. So I'm just going to clean this one off and put it back. And then I will talk to you about how I did the other one. So this can then go back into its case. And as I say, I'm just so amazed how I managed to miss this one, because as I say, I thought that they were small. You know, you look through the catalogue quickly sometimes and you go, oh, I want this, this, this and this, and you miss things sometimes because you can't see how big they are. So I'm going to take this one to just show you. This is the lovely tulips. And with the tulips, what I did was I put it to start off with in on the diagonal. Okay, so it's in on the diagonal, and then I did it on each one. So you've got a diagonal, you've got, so a diagonal, you've then got a straight, you've got a diagonal, you've got a straight, you've got a diagonal, you've got a straight, you've got a diagonal, you've got a straight. And by doing it this way, what I had to do was to do the 2 masks either side. So you can see the 2 masks either side, so that enabled me to get the, when you do it yourself, you'll be able to see, but that enabled me to get the complete flower. And as I say, if I put this away, I can then show you. But all of these flowers are huge. You know, they are not small at all. The front of the cover, I suppose because there's so much on it, you just really don't see at all how big those flowers are and how much you can do with them. So let's put the Stamparatus out of the way for now. And then let me bring back in what we've done. And the, so this is the finished poppy one. And you can see I have done the poppies here, and then the poppies there, and then the poppies there, and there, and there, and there. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 stamps of that that poppy all the way round. And then I just did a tiny circle in the centre, because obviously your centre is not going to look particularly pretty on this particular one because it's so close. But I think it's lovely, and I've coloured it in blends, and it took me probably an hour or so to colour it, but I just think it's beautiful. So that was that one. This is the one that we've just done. And this is a completed one that I did, that I've coloured in. Now you can see there's some shading in here on the flowers and on the leaves and things, but I didn't do it with blends, I did it with pencils. So I thought I would show you just one sort of little section of that so you can actually see. So this is the one that we've got, and I've got a whole selection of blends. So let's take, I've got light and dark Highland Heather, which I'm doing. So I'm going to have the light Highland Heather for the inside flower, and literally all I'm doing is I go round the edge first. So I hope you can, I'm just going to do, yes you can see. So we go round the edge first, because that makes it easier to make sure that it doesn't bleed through, particularly when you first get your blends, because they can be quite juicy. Mine, I've used them quite a bit, so they're not as juicy. And then literally you're just going to go right the way over the top. So there's no particular blending or anything at all on there. Then I'm taking the dark of the Highland Heather, and I'm just going to do the flower at the back. So again, I go round the edge. That only, I do that so it doesn't bleed outside, because our paper is actually really good. The basic white and the our original Whisper White absorbs, but it doesn't saturate, so it actually works really well. So, and again on this one, once you've done that, you can very quickly just literally colour it through. And as I say, so you've got a light one and you've got a dark one. This is a retired one. However, it's been in the clearance rack for a while, so you might still be able to get hold of it. So this one is going to have the rose on, and this is lovely lipstick, but any pink that you want to use you can do. I'm just telling you the ones that I've used. And as I say, I got this because it was in the clearance rack, so it was half price. And as you know, I'm all for a bargain, and I would say to all my customers, in fact to everybody, before you ever check out your basket, always have a little look in that clearance rack, because you know there are quite often some lovely little bargains that you think, oh yes, I could do with some of those. And they will be normally between sort of 60 and sometimes as much as 80% off. So, you know, it's worth having a look. Okay, so that's that one on there. I then used a pink, so I think this is Petal Pink in the dark. And I'm just using that for these flowers up here. And again, you can see I'm not doing anything particularly fancy with them. I'm just doing it all in one colour. Now, if you've got your lights and your darks, you can turn around and do that. But I find that one or other of them will end up drying out. This is dark Granny Apple Green. So because they do tend to dry out, and I don't always, because I'm pretty frugal, I don't always turn around and think, oh, okay, I'll buy another, because you can only buy them in combinations now. When they first came out, you could buy them singly. So you might find sometimes that you've got one left, which is either a dark or a light, but you haven't got the other colours. And this one is Dark Daffodil Delight. So let me see if, sure whether, do it on this bit. Oh, I could really do with doing it on the other side. Let me see if I can get the other one out. My fingers aren't very good, so sometimes it's difficult. So this one is just in the Dark Daffodil Delight, because as I say, my light Daffodil Delight has run out. So I'm just colouring this bit in. Right, I'm not going to colour any more in, but you can see they're exactly the same colours as the finished one. So once you've done that, then rather than trying to worry about how you're going to colour it in, you can do it with our Stampin' Right markers, but you can also do it with our pencils. So if we look at the purples first of all, we have Gorgeous Grape in the pencils. So what I'm going to do with this, and hopefully it will have dried enough. You need to make sure that the alcohol's gone, and I'm hoping that it should be all right. You can then literally just do, and because we haven't got a Highland Heather in the pencils, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to very gently, because I don't want this to be too strong, just give myself some little shadows in where I want it. Okay, so I'm coming up on here and just putting in where I want some shadows. As I say, this pencil is not hugely sharpened because I don't want it too sharpened, but you can see, you can just build up where you want your shadow on there. Now, if you go to the Gorgeous Grape, so it's Gorgeous Grape in the blend dark, sorry, Highland Heather dark with Gorgeous Grape, you can still, because it's a darker colour, you can actually just build that up a little bit more by pressing just a little bit more round on it. And then, as I say, just shade in the parts that you want. So all of our mediums, colouring mediums, will actually work very well together. So There we go. So we've got a bit of shading on this one. Now for this pink one, I've taken, and you could choose Melon Mambo, or you could choose any pink. So Melon Mambo or Flirty Flamingo in here. I'm choosing Melon Mambo because Lovely Lipstick on here is quite vibrant. And again, with the side of my pencil, I'm just going to, excuse my phone doing a little ping. I'm just going to add my shading in on here. And as I say, I'll spend a little bit of time doing it. I'm just sort of showing you quite quickly how you can build up the shading in. Because as I say, you can always add extra tone in there. You can't take it away very easily, although you could actually by using your aqua painter or water brush. And just as I say, build up your shade in there. So we've got a little bit of tone on here. The pink one up in on there. I could use, this is Flirty Flamingo, so let's use the Flirty Flamingo on here. And again, just very lightly take it in where you want to just have just a little bit of shading in. And this obviously is going to be a little bit of a contrast, but you know, when you're shading, you're just wanting to pick up just an extra tone to make it look more, three-dimensional rather than two-dimensional. Okay, so leaves, we have got Granny Apple Green in the pencil. So again, Granny Apple Green is quite light on here. I would probably take the Old Olive, which is slightly darker, because again with that you can just build up some shading in on the leaves. Like that. And then the little one on here, which I've done in the Daffodil Delight, I'm going to take the crushed curry in the pencil, and again I'm just going to add just a little bit of shading in underneath on here, which just gives you that sort of three-dimensional look. So build it up and build it up as much as you want. You know, add your shading. I've just given you a very sort of quick example. But then when it's completely finished, you've got a card like that. Once you've got your Stamparatus set up, you can see that you can do multiples of them. So if you're wanting to do a set of cards for somebody, you know, if you're wanting to do, I don't know, anniversary, wedding stationery, birthdays, anything like that where you need multiples, very easy to do with the Stamparatus. You just do it all. If you haven't got time to do it with blends and spend a lot of time, you can just do a simple wash. You could use your blending brush on there and just add a bit of extra colour, so you don't have to spend, you can spend as much time as you want, is what I'm trying to say. So we've got this one, and as I say, the other one, exactly the same technique, just using another stamp. And this one you can see, I hope you can see, I've just finished it with the metallic mesh ribbon, which is one of my favourites, and you know, that just adds a little bit of extra sparkle in there. I put the sentiment up on, which is done with the circle dies, and that was from Sweet Strawberry, Just For You, and I've just done a little tiny mount in the green, very, very tiny, because I didn't want a big circle coming through, so it's literally just on the side. But I think if you put those two together, you can see what beautiful cards you can make and how huge these stamps are, which, as I say, it still astounded me. And you know, I maybe should look at measurements and things in the catalogue more, but I think we're all guilty of it. We all sort of look through and go like, oh well, they're all right, but they're quite small. And then you look inside and you go, actually, this little thing here is this big, and this little one here is that big. So brilliant stamp set. So pleased I got it. And if you've got it, do try this with it, because I think it's absolutely beautiful. We will be doing some other things with it, because you know what I'm like. Once I get a stamp set, I like to show you many, many different ideas with it to give you some inspiration. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well, and please be kind. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.